Hello, hello. Apa khabar? Selamat datang and welcome to Virtually Peranakan Fest, organized by Peranakan Sayang. Nama saya Alvin Un, and I'll be your host for this 2-day virtual online festival featuring all things Peranakan. Now, this program was created for all babas and nyonyas around the world, and for those who love the culture, for them to remember, to reconnect, to realize, to rejoice and reveal more about our Peranakan culture. Now, please comment and say hello. Kita wahi bila baba nyonya ada komen atau ada tumpang tanya. Please lah komen boleh kat bawah Now, it is a virtual Peranakan journey and discovery. So, thank you so much, Kamsia, for joining us today. Now, to start off with our Peranakan Fest, we are going on a visit to the Intan in Joo Chiat, Singapore, with a very good friend of mine, kawan baik saya. His home is also a museum. So everybody is wondering, is it a home turned into a museum, or is it a museum turned into a home? So let's all find out more as we welcome on the show our good friend Baba Alvin. Hello, Baba.
Yo, Alvin, how are you?
Good to see you. Apa khabar? How is everything okay?
Hey, Alvin, first and foremost, congratulations on a very successful virtual Peranakan Fest. I think there's a lot of people super excited. I've even had people calling me, and just about half an hour ago, somebody came knocking my door thinking the virtual experience is a real life experience.
Yeah. Probably a misunderstanding. They thought it was an actual tour,
But you're doing a good job, and I'm so excited to be part of it and to kick off with you.
Yeah, and we're very thankful to have you support this program as well. Now, before we go on the tour, I got a few questions to ask you, burning questions that I like to ask you, boleh? Now, first question I want to ask you. What made you want to start a museum? What is your thought behind it?
I get this question quite often. No one grows up wanting to open a museum, right? No, and neither did I. But the real reason is because when I was much younger, and I'm talking about much younger,
like last year lah.
We didn't have the Peranakan Museum. We didn't have Peranakan Sayang. We didn't have all this internet stuff, and I was clueless about my own culture. And I to learn about my culture, I started to collect Peranakan antiques. And that was how the house became filled with Peranakan material culture.
Right.
And the museum came and asked me to become a museum. So it's what we call an accidental museum. I didn't want to start it.
Right. So it was your home first, then became a museum lah. Not become a museum, then become a home.
If you remember, in those days, I was working for Singapore Airlines. I was living abroad for many years. And when I came back, I had all the bara-bara taken out.
So okay.
And people wanted to visit me.
Very good. Okay, so interesting. So, okay, another question,
Yes,
how do you feel when there's so many strangers? Of course, all these visitors are mostly strangers. You never met them before. How do you feel when they all step into your own private home, your own private space? How does that feel?
The first thing I need to do is I must be properly dressed all the time. The house was a spick and span, or at least have a 2-minute makeover. But many of them come as strangers, and after a while they warm up and we end up as friends. So it's not too much of a problem. Just like you when you are singing and dancing, right? After a while people get relaxed and they all become really good friends.
Yeah, but it's not all come to your house now, your own home, no. Wow, that's a big difference. But you got a lovely place.
When we collect and we love all things Peranakan, and we are so proud of sharing our culture, it doesn't feel like a stranger. It really feels like we are sharing our culture and our heritage to people who are interested. There's no better way to promote our culture.
That is so true. So now you told us that you got so many things in your museum and your home. How do you maintain all the things that's around? There's so many things. How do you clean them? It's quite a challenge, kan?
Well, every Saturday we have a volunteer program. You are more than welcome to sign up. We'll teach you how to clean the house. But when you love something, just like when you love doing what you do, it doesn't feel like a chore, and you kind of enjoy doing it. It's almost therapeutic.
Wonderful. Now, you are so kind enough to bring us around your virtual, your home, your museum on a virtual tour. You're going to show us around. But before we do that, there's so many people who said hello. Thank you very much for everybody for saying hello. We've got friends saying hello from Japan, from Australia, from Penang. Wow, so many people. Hello, everybody. Wow, so nice. From KL pun ada. People say hello to Elvin. Yeah, a very common name, Elvin, among our community. Later on, also another Elvin also. Then from PJ, Malaysia. Wow, so many people. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us on our very first program in our Virtually Peranakan Fest. Okay, so Elvin, we're all ready. Can you bring us on a tour of your wonderful home museum?
Sure. But anytime if you have any questions or any of our friends online have any questions, just pop it up and just ask me and I'll be happy to answer them.
Correct. So, yeah. So if you all have any questions out there, please feel free to ask in the comment section, whether on Facebook or YouTube. And then we'll try our best, if time permitting, to answer all the questions because we got a very packed program today. So we want to make it as best as we can. So Elvin, let's go on the tour.
Great. So where we are right now is the front of the house. You can see that it goes all the way to the back. Where I'm sitting is the front hall. And this is where most visitors come in. So I'm going to kind of turn the camera, so bear with me, just to give you a real life experience of how the house looks like. Okay? So this is where the house is. I'm going to bring you slightly outside so you can see how it would be. Oh, this is your safe entry.
Check in,
So most visitors
we all scan first.
That's where all my gardening is done. And when you enter the house, the first thing you will see would be the ancestral altar.
Altar.
So this is where, can you see that? Yeah, I'm going to just put this up here. Yeah, so when you come in, the first thing you notice is this, but most people would come and turn towards this angle right here. So exactly where I was would have been the first scene you see. And most people wonder what these gold chairs are. And I always like to share the story that Peranakan is about Chinese. This set of chairs was gifted to me by a dear friend who's related to President Wee Kim Wee. And so it was something that they wanted to part with to the Intan. So when you come to the Intan, the first thing you will notice is with these beautiful mother of pearl chairs. Now,
very nice.
Some people will also notice that it is slightly Vietnamese. In fact, it is Vietnamese, Chinese, but somehow it found its way into the homes of my friend, and now it is in my home.
So lucky you, Now it's your home. So much history or your chair. Oh, beautiful.
And this is where I always share, I can take this camera out of it.
Yeah, boleh.
Right? So most people ask me, why did the Peranakans put such Chinese furniture in the front hall? And it's very simple because we Peranakans, especially Peranakan Chinese, we want people to know that we are Chinese. And that's why we have such Chinese furniture to reinstate the fact that we are Chinese and don't kind of mistaken us for being European or
yeah, okay.
Most people would then notice something like now, and to Elvin, do you know what we call things like this?
This is the altar, kan?
Well, some use it as or we collectors call a sideboard. Then this was around 1 inch for me. It was in the back of his antique shop. It was filled with dust. When I moved into this house about 15 years ago, I needed a showpiece like this, and none better than this piece to fit in the front of the house. So very European in style. When you look closely up there, you start to see the Chinese figurines, the phoenixes, the peony, and as you can see, the Fulu show. Yeah. Somebody just said they can't hear me. Is it?
Yeah. Now you're okay. Just now when you're holding something else, it was a bit rough. Your hand gatal lah, that's why.
But I want to share with you, and this is a very interesting secret. So many Peranakans, like me, we are Christians or Catholics, but we often have Fulu show like this up there, right? I have a question for our friends. Can you guess where did I acquire this set of Fulusho statues?
Where did you acquire this set of Fulusho statues? That is the question that Alvin Yap is asking. If you all know, then you answer lah.
Let's see any intelligent guesses. I found them in Singapore in the most unlikely place that you can imagine.
I know, Fulusho Complex.
Trust you, No, not Fulusho.
No, not Fulusho Complex. Okay.
It cannot be further from the truth. Actually, I found it in Holy Family Church.
Wow.
So
it's a Catholic church.
It's a Catholic church, and what I would do every Sunday after Mass, I will go to the thrift shop and I'll go and raba and kind of search for little knickknacks. And lo and behold, somebody donated this Fulusho set of statues to the flea market, and it found its way into the Intan.
That's a very interesting story. So unique.
And I also want to share with you something other than the Fulusho statues. Can you see these statues here? This
the patung. The patung.
You can see there's one here.
In the baju panjang.
One just here.
Can
you see that?
Yes, that's right. The red one.
Yeah.
The red baju panjang.
So, we Peranakan communities, we are very closely knitted. And some of you might know Father Christopher from Perth.
Yes. Formerly Penang. Yes.
Yes. And many years ago, before he became a priest, I saw his beautiful handiwork. And I said, Chris, would you help dress up some dolls if I were to acquire them from Thailand? And I sent him 5 dolls, and one got broken along the way. But he wonderfully dressed 4 dolls up, and they are all here still at the Intan. And this
wonderful. Such detailed and such a small piece of garment, and he could put it together so nicely.
And this was at least 15 years ago. So Chris, if you are watching this, I promised you that I would keep the 4 dolls that you so lovingly made, and I still have all 4 of them here.
Wonderful. Wow, so much history. The doll also got history. Okay, what else can you show us?
Yeah. Have there been any questions so far in the chat?
So far, more technical questions, but it's fine. No burning questions as yet. For those of you who had some problems listening or to the audio, it was just because Alvin Yap go and press something on his phone now. But now okay already. You cover the speaker, no wonder lah.
I want to share a little bit more about the house. This house I bought it around 15 years ago. I wasn't actually house searching. I was quite comfortable in my condo apartment, and a friend of mine said, there's a house for sale. It belonged to his cousin, and I came and I saw the house. I didn't like it very much, but I just went back, didn't think too much about it, and happened to see it in the classified ads when I was at Peter Lee's place one Sunday. I was sitting there after lunch and I was going through newspapers, and I saw this house for sale. And with that, I came and I made a very rash decision to purchase this house. This house is post-war, 1950s. When you enter the house, everything in the house is original. When I first found the house 15 years ago, there was some renovation done by the previous owner, but I left it as original as I found the house to be. So the upper level, the staircase, the beams, even the state floor when you come here, it's original to the house. All I did was I brought in my antiques, and I brought in more antiques when I moved in here. And today it is my home and my museum.
Hey, there's a question from our kawan called Linda. Linda asking you, can you tell us what the green pot is for? The one at the altar on your left? On your left. Your left. That's right. The green pot. Near the doll.
Near the doll, the spittoon.
It's a spittoon. Yes, correct.
Okay, so
yeah. This is called the tampui.
So thanks, Linda, for that lovely question. So It looks like a urinal. This is a spittoon. Many Peranakans, women were addicted to chewing betel leaf, and they would have commissioned these beautiful enamel wares for them to split them into. You will recognize the material and the motifs being very typical with the Tiffin carriers, which I'll show you in a while. And they were both made in the same places. I have a question, Alvin, for you and your friends.
Yes.
Where do you think these beautiful enamel wares were made from?
Could it be made in Vietnam or Myanmar? Cambodia?
Somewhere further, these were made in Eastern Europe, in
Wow.
Poland and Czechoslovakia. But I just want to share with you this one here, which Linda has pointed out. I can just turn the sign. I believe you can read it. Can you read what it says?
Made in Germany.
Yeah, so the Peranakans, through my collection, I found that they were commissioning porcelain from China, beads from France, and even enamel wares from as far as Europe.
Thank you. I got another question.
Please.
Mavis, why are these three figurines of Fulu show you called them Peranakan culture?
Oh, well, before we even answer that question, I think we ask ourselves, what is Peranakan culture? And I guess different people have different interpretations. For me, it is a mix of different cultures coming together. And if you go far back enough, we always trace it to Chinese, Malay, or European. So technically, if we were to dissect it, very little can be 100% Peranakan. When I talk about the Fulu show, what I guess I'm saying is that the Peranakans, many of them were also Buddhists and Taoists, and many of them would have had the Fulu show statues in their front hall as part of their cultural lifestyle. I know many would have placed them in the front hall. They didn't necessarily pay homage to them, but it was more cultural. Some did, but some didn't. So I guess if we say, is it Peranakan culture, it depends on which way we look at it.
Yeah, that's a very good answer. And Joan asked a similar question. What's the significance of the potty lined at the stairway? You've got a lot of this tampui at the side over there at your staircase.
So, so this is wonderful for me to now start sharing this famous staircase because if you did watch the Singapore Airlines in-flight video, you will know that they had the cabin crew walking down this stairways. And I have a line of Tiffin carriers and a line of spittoons here, again showing the European influence in the Peranakan culture.
Very good. So it's a very...
But a joke here, again, I always tell people this staircase is input and output. Input and output.
That's a good one. One makan, one outside lah. Okay. Can we continue with the yes?
Before we go on, I have another question for you and your friends. I shared with you that these enamel wares came from Eastern Europe, and I showed you one that came from Germany. But I thought I asked you from a collector's point of view, where do you think I acquired many of these pieces?
Whoa, that's a big question. From all over, I would think.
Yeah, but you might want to guess which particular country brought all these pieces to me. 99% of all these pieces came from one country that I collected from.
Right.
Yes.
Guess, anybody can guess or not? Anybody know where he get all these things from one country? From Malacca, maybe? Somebody asked. From Indonesia?
No, not Indonesia, not Malacca. In fact, many of these pieces came from India.
India? Oh, wow.
Yeah. So apparently, and I'm sharing this from a collector's point of view, not from any internet research, but through real life experience. Many of these pieces apparently were snapped up by the Indian traders in the late 1800s, early 1900s, especially early 1900s, and they were apparently brought back to India as dowry pieces.
Okay, dowry pieces for the wedding.
For wedding. So what happens is that I have Indian runners and Indian traders running around India, and they are looking at many of the wealthy homes to find such beautiful mint pieces stocked up in homes of very wealthy Indian communities. And they bring them back to me, and we started collecting back all over again. And many of them even have Tamil names or Tamil initials on them, so that they don't lose them and they know where they come from.
Okay, such interesting information of where you get all these things from. Shall we get on with the tour, because we have a tight schedule to keep?
Sure. So I'm going to bring you to the rest of the house, and this is where the center of the house is. And I wanted to share with you this beautiful piece of furniture.
Lovely.
And that's where I would display my porcelain. Another interesting fact is that because it is 3 panels, some say that it would never be good for a bedroom because it wouldn't be very good feng shui. It should have been 2 or 4 panels. And again, I learned this through my years.
Okay. So where did you get this very interesting and unique
This
piece of furniture?
From an antique dealer in Kelantan Lane, near the old Sungai Road. Many of you who are antique collectors would know the lady. She would sell this, she would refurbish these beautiful brown and gold pieces.
Very nice. And you store all your, place all your porcelain pieces in this particular showcase.
And to share with our friends, what I did was I had lights installed in them so that it allows the pieces to glow and for the colors to come out.
There's a question from our friend called Wendy. What is your oldest piece in your museum?
The oldest piece is a very undescriptive piece of metal. It would have accompanied the Seaway box. It's not here, it's upstairs. And what happens is that when the Peranakan woman loses their teeth and they can't chew their bitter leaf, they would pound this in this mortar and pestle. And that has to be one of the oldest pieces in this house. Most of the pieces here you see would have been made around 1800s to 1900s.
Wow, fantastic. Okay, let's continue.
For our Indonesian friends, I thought I'd highlight a pair of Peranakan Indonesian Chinese wedding furniture that was used for part of the wedding trousseau. So Peranakan culture doesn't expanded from Singapore, Malacca, Penang, and to different parts of Southeast Asia.
Wow. Yeah, there are many Peranakan communities around the region.
And right now, I'm going to bring you to the last part of the house, which is the dining area. And this is where we have our meals. And something quite interesting for many of our viewers is that many Peranakans are Catholics, including myself. And I always say that when an antique collector cannot find enough antiques to collect, we collect other things. So here is a very special collection of Catholic icons in different Asian identity. I'm not sure whether you can see them close up, but here you have the Madonna and the nativity scene in different Asian and sometimes even European outfits.
Wow, what a collection. So many. I'm sure your maintenance a bit challenging, eh?
Like this one here is a nativity scene from India in front of the Taj Mahal. And there you have, when Christmas is coming, you have Jesus, Mary, and Joseph with instead of sheep, you have the elephant.
And a peacock.
And, of course, same features.
Such a mix.
And I'm going to just now share with you something that I'm very passionate about in the last few months since circuit COVID started. We started to do some Peranakan merchandise. And we've worked with different charity associations to come up with Peranakan inspired merchandise. Things like these that were made from with Metta Welfare Home. So they've made beautiful Peranakan porcelain tiles. by firing them. And at the same time, we've even used vintage batiks to make them into notebooks. And
Yes,
this was
very
done
nice.
by the people at SPD, the Society for the Physically Disabled.
Bah, we got a question from our friend Eugene. The silk tapestry that's in your background, what is it used for in the Peranakan household?
This is what we call a door hanging. It would have adorned the top of a door because of the size. And you can see they have beautiful tassels. Now, in particular, the Penang Peranakans, at least from my experience, were they did very fine embroidery work and bead work as well. And this particular work with this color purple would have probably been from Penang.
Thank you.
So
There's
again,
another.
we found differences between the Penang Peranakans and the Malacca Singapore Peranakans in terms of the embroidery, in terms of their furniture, in terms of their kabaya, and even their beadwork. There were also some different influences as well.
Yes, there are different influences in the different regions. Now, there's another question. Now, while you're sitting at the dining table, there's a question from Wendy once again. Have you got a Peranakan teapot? If yes,
Peranakan teapot, of course.
yeah. Can you explain the patterns on the teapot?
Okay, so many of the porcelain, including the teapots, would have been made from Jingdezhen, and I'm going to bring you to show you some of these pieces just here. So these pieces were made in Jingdezhen in China. Till today, Jingdezhen is one of the best places in China to manufacture porcelain. Apparently, the earth and the clays there are of top notch. So the Peranakans, they would commission these pieces from Jingdezhen around 1800s to early 1900s. Many of them would have made them into kamchings like these. And if you can sneak in there, you can see there's a Chinese teapot. Where Wendy is concerned, the teapots were either Chinese style like this, and there were also globular teapots, which were Western in style. Again, people ask me, did the Peranakans come up with such designs, with such color scheme? I don't think so. I don't think they had a Zoom call and they decided what colors and what patterns to have. I think the love for such color palette grew organically, and in the end, they became very synonymous with the Peranakan community.
Wow, really, so much history to all these things that you collect. So another question, I mean, as I asked earlier, you kept so many things. These are all dust collectors. How do you manage to keep the dust off all these antiques? This is from Jeffrey Pua.
Well, as I said earlier, if you love something, it doesn't seem like work. Many of the porcelain pieces, I think most important is not just the dust, but how do we best preserve and keep them as responsible custodian of these pieces. Now, let's be honest, our homes cannot be equipped with the state-of-the-art equipment like you have in the heritage centers. The best advice I can give is to keep the humidity as constant as possible. You might not be able to afford air conditioning 24 hours, but keep the pieces away from sunlight. For me, very fragile porcelain like this should be kept in the cabinets. Things that are less fragile, you can have them outside, like the enamelwares. Try to place them further from the reach of curious hands. Embroidery is always one of the toughest to keep, and so the best embroideries are always kept in drawers, but again, very sayang if you don't share them. So the pieces that you see I've displayed, I either have the acrylic in front, or they are pieces that are perhaps not the best qualities that we are able to share with our visitors in the house. The moment we have embroidery outdoor, the colors get slightly faded along the way. So all this is learned throughout years and years of preserving these pieces.
Right. You know, we've got like 600 over live viewers on this particular stream right now. We're so thankful that there's so many people out there saying hello from all around the world. I'd like to say hello to all of you as well. It's because there's so many comments coming through. We do apologize that we can't answer all. We'll try our best. Is there anything else that we want to show them before we do that something special after this, Alvin?
Well, I think at the end of the day, I guess, as we love our Peranakan culture, and we are still learning along the way. There's so many things that we still unknown. And I think it's through events like these that we learn from each other and that we learn more about Peranakan culture.
There's a question coming through. What are the tiny kamchings used for traditionally?
Okay, so the Peranakans had a lot of their public lives documented. So we can read a lot about their jobs, and the offices that they took and what they did. Unfortunately, we don't have as much written history about their private lives. So not just the big or the small kamchings, but even the large kamchings, we still don't have written evidence of what they were originally used for. So why I say this is important, because as I collect the pieces and I ask the owners what they were used for, many times the person that remembers it would remember what it was used during their time. And this could have already been changed along the way. So I've got bibis and aunties telling me, I swear to you, these pieces was used to hide my money or to put my keys in it. Now, and I'm sure she would have put her money and keys and maybe her socks in it, but I don't think that was the original usage of the pieces. And maybe there wasn't an original use, just like Tupperware. We could use them for many different purposes. Some say they were used for the miniature ones. Some say they used for cosmetic. Some say they put their little trinkets in it. I don't think at this point in time we have any firm evidence what it was originally used for. Unfortunately.
Yeah. There's there was some suggestions that they're used for sauces or maybe even cooking ingredients to be placed in the small kamching.
It would have been, to put your spices and your buah keras. But one thing I am very sure about, these pieces were not used as heirloom pieces from mothers to daughters. These, unlike in what you watch in Little Nyonya, they said this was kanching, right? Or emotional pieces. I don't think so. Many of the pieces would have been chipped. They could have been broken along the way. These were kitchenware. I think I've heard more that they gave their sarongs as heirloom pieces more than porcelain pieces.
Yeah, thank you. Now, just before we move on to the next and final segment, before we wrap up the program, we'd like to let you know that our Baba Christopher, who made the baju panjang for your patong, your dolls, is watching the show. So, hi, Baba Christopher. He's currently in New South Wales. Hello, kamsiala for everybody for joining in. We've got like 700 people watching this program. For the purpose of having a very packed program, we will be wrapping up this segment very shortly, because at 2 p.m. we'll be going to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, to join our good friend Nyonya Lee Soo Kim, who will be telling us Peranakan stories. So we will be wrapping up this segment of our very first program in our virtually Peranakan Fest with Alvin Yap. But we have something fun and interesting to do, because we are going to have a little quiz. Betul tak, Ba?
Yeah, but before we do that, I just want to say again a big shout out. Thanks, Alvin, for doing this to Peranakan Sayang. This is amazing. It's a breakthrough. For those of you who have yet to visit the Intan, you'll be very happy to know that the Intan is the only Peranakan attraction that you can use your Singapore Rediscover vouchers to visit us come 1st December, where you can use it to purchase your admission to visit us for the next 7 months for Singaporeans. Plus, and listen very carefully because it's very important, because that's the question that Alvin's going to ask later. Apart from visiting us, we've got a bundle that we have put together for the Singapore Rediscover voucher, where you can eat, shop, and play when you visit the Intan. Meaning that with your $100 voucher, you can come and visit us. You can have a Peranakan meal. You can do some shopping, or you might even want to use the voucher to go to Tea Play, which is a Khatib, where we have a beautiful Peranakan playground there that we have partnered Home Team NS. So remember, this is very important. If you do entitled to your Singapore Rediscover voucher, you may want to consider coming to the Intan, where you can bundle it to eat, shop, and play.
Yeah, for those of you who do not know what Singapore Rediscovers vouchers are, they're actually given by the government to all Singaporeans. I think it's 100 Singapore dollars to go and visit locations and attractions in Singapore, because we are not able to visit or go traveling. We travel and visit internally here in Singapore. So that's the Singapore Rediscovers vouchers, available from 1st December. Okay, so how can people actually do any bookings to your place? What you can do is you go to his website at www.the-intan.com. There's a booking tab over there that you can make arrangements to book with our Baba Alvin Yap to visit his beautiful The Intan Home Museum. So that is some information for all of you. So are we ready for the quiz, Ba? Okay,
yes,
let's...
So to kick this wonderful virtual Peranakan Fest, I have 3 wonderful prizes for 3 interesting questions, which I'm going to get Alvin to ask.
Okay.
The prizes are a free
masterclass.
So I've developed a Peranakan masterclass, first time ever, where you can enjoy and learn about Peranakan culture in the comforts of your home, and we're giving away 3 tickets to these masterclasses.
Yes, so that means you can be in any part of the world and you can use this prize to attend the masterclass together with Alvin Yap. Okay, so that is the prize that we're talking about. We're giving out 3 of them. So what we're going to do is I will show you the question on screen, and fastest fingers wins. Okay, and I'm not going to tell you who won it first because there's going to be so many comments, but we'll see from our comments and we'll get back to you later on and let you know whether you are the winner, because I tell you there's going to be a flurry of comments that's going, because everybody wants to attend your masterclass, right? So okay,
it's hot, okay? It's not
hot,
even online yet. It's like right now, you are baking it anytime now.
Okay, so I'm going to flash the question and fastest fingers, and later on we will review who was the fastest one to get the correct answer. Must be the correct answer. If not correct, cannot, eh? Okay, so stand by your fingers on your comments right now. First question is, ready? Go! What is the meaning of the word Intan? What is the meaning of the word Intan? If you know the answer, quickly type in the comments, and if you're the first one with the correct answer, you will win the prize of the masterclass together with Alvin Yap. So quickly, wow, I see so many comments coming through, but it's scary because we have like 700 over people watching the program right now from all over.
The question is, what's the meaning of the word Intan, right? Not Rotan or Setan.
Not Rotan,
Batam.
No. We even have friends from Canada watching the show. Hello, Canada. So nice to see you. I don't know. It must be very, very early in the morning right now. Yeah, so that's the first question. Okay, so all the answers, I hope, are in. I tell you, there has been so many comments coming through. Not Jantan. Okay. So next question. Stand by. Okay, y'all can stop already, because chances are there's an answer there. Next question number 2, stand by, is where is the Intan located at? Where
Yeah.
is the Intan located at? Yes. You got to find where is the Intan located at. The place and the country. I don't say wrong country. I don't say India. I tell you it's not in India, that's for sure. Although he mentioned India.
That's where
But
all
it's
the
not.
Myanmar West are.
Yeah, that's right. But the Intan is not in India. So you must mention the place, the road name, and also the country that it is in, because this is an international show, you know? Yeah. Okay, that's question number 2. Boy, we have like 100 over comments coming through, ba. I'm very scared to go through.
Oh, your system can take it.
Yeah, okay.
I hope,
Yeah.
I hope STB is watching this because we're gonna ask some funding from STB after this, right?
Okay. Last one before we wrap up the show. Third question,
Very
stand by. Third question. What are the 3 things you can do with the Intan Bundle Singapore Rediscovers vouchers? Just mention the 3 things.
I told you the 3 things. Come on.
Yes, Alvin Yap mentioned it just now. The 3 things that he mentioned. Put down the 3 things that you can do with the Intan Bundle Singapore Rediscovers vouchers. Get your answers. I tell you, I don't want to see the comments right now. I'm very scared. Okay, so all the answers are there. We wish you all the best, that you're the fastest fingers first. And if you got it right, we will be in touch with you. We will respond to you via your Facebook or some other way that we can find you. We'll find you lah. Okay, we'll try our best. Okay, I cannot promise after some obscure no account. I don't know. We'll try. We'll find out later. Okay. It's time for us to wrap up the show because we are going to have our next program starting very shortly at 2 p.m. So make sure you all go to that link and catch the next item. So on behalf of all of us, thank you very much, Alvin Yap, for taking us on this tour. This has been fantastic. Thank you so much. You take care, yeah? Okay, for everybody else, thank you for joining us in our very first item on our Virtually Peranakan Fest. My name is Alvin. We'll catch you later. See you. Take care.